School is back and doorbusters are in session at JCPenney. Score best-in-class deals for your whole crew like $6.99 tees and $21.99 denim from Arizona Jean Company. Spice up your new space with Cook's Kitchen Essentials starting at $19.99. Hurry in store while they last, or buy online now, pick up curbside later. Shopping is back, and the savings are too. JCPenney. Doorbusters valid on select styles through 8/3. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Whitty just had a revelation in the hall.
Marcus Freeman is a handsome dude.
He took me aside and he was like, hey, I don't want to say this in front of Jessica, but good-looking bloke. And I was like, who? He's like, Marcus Freeman. I'm like,
Who said they didn't want to say this
Whitty.
in front of Jessica?
Sorry, I'm betraying your confidence.
And then I said it in front of Jessica anyway. I just looked at the television to go, Marcus Freeman is, I was going to say handsome or good looking. I just went, Marcus Freeman is hot.
Let's discuss this for a second. I read in the New York Times the other day. Do you realize how old? I was stunned by this. How old the expression is to refer to someone, a human being, as hot and have it be sexy and beautiful. If you had to guess when we started doing that and come up with a year or a decade, when would you guess people started referring to others as hot?
2002, Paris Hilton.
The 80s, man, everything was hot.
The 50s.
I would say the mid-1970s.
I would say the 50s because Some Like It Hot, the Marilyn Monroe movie, I would go with that as a reference.
I would say the 50s as well, just to be surprised at your answer.
What are you laughing about with a mouthful of food, Jessica?
Roy, that was so old of you.
I don't even know what he said. I didn't get it. I was like, oh, okay.
It's common cultural reference.
You never heard that movie?
What common cultural reference is that?
Marilyn Monroe, I've never heard it before, but Roy knows common cultural references that span the decades.
There's a Netflix movie coming out about Marilyn Monroe. That's one. So there's your common reference now.
It's come out, I think. And
okay, yes, people know who Marilyn Monroe is, Roy, but I couldn't name one of her flicks. Okay.
Well, damn.
Roy, I think we need imaging, and I think, just like you did the other day, where you just randomly, and really, it had no place in the show, and it wasn't knowledge that you should have had or said out loud. Regardless, in the middle of our show, you informed us that Utah is the B state. It was nothing that we were talking about, and I want to refer to Roy bombs as something that has a name. Do you have a choice that we can have my father yell whenever you have one of these random facts that doesn't have anything to do with anything that is uniquely yours?
Yeah. Belly bomb.
I like it. That is excellent work. Let's do a belly bomb because his name is Roy Bellamy, and we will figure out imaging for that. But the correct answer...
Belly bomb.
He dropped a bell. I mean,
he's got a belly.
Yeah.
He dropped a belly.
Yep.
The correct answer to my question is right before the Great Depression in the 20s, great-grandma was referring to some smoldering guy with a parasol and a top hat as hot.
Wow.
Shocking.
The 1920s?
Yep.
That seems like such a young person phrase. I was actually just talking about this with one of my friends while I was on vacation, Dan. I think that his name's Harry.
Oh, no, which vacation?
Oh, the one that I was on 2 weeks ago.
Charlotte Wilder.
It wasn't Charlotte. It wasn't Charlotte. It also wasn't Priya, who I have a plant named after, Priya. But my friend Harry and I were talking about how someone said to me that they thought someone was sexy, and I was like, I just can't fathom myself or someone in my age group referring to someone as sexy. It just seems like a phrase of an older era, right, Tony? You
so
would never
weird.
call someone sexy.
Yeah, it's sexy. I'd say something is sexy, but not a person is sexy, right?
We've got a couple of photos of you, Tony, lately that are sexy.
I sure
or
do.
Hot.
Yeah.
One of them was your thighs, which you have
My new avatar.
a bit of quad father in you. Lewis was taking pictures of how.
I didn't know, Dan. I didn't know that he was taking pictures of me. By the way.
He wasn't intending to. It was how flimsy your mic stand is and why it is that it sounds like a restaurant table that is unbalanced, which is one of the most annoying things. And put it on the poll, Roy, please. Is an unbalanced restaurant table one of the most annoying things in the world? He was taking pictures of how shifty your setup was, and he got a lot of thigh, and you were wearing shorts. But Stugotz is just showing me his screensaver because he's got it frozen on his phone. You can send that out now, Stugotz, to everybody so they can see what it is. He said he was going to change it to his avatar. It's way too much thigh.
I don't know how to do it. The avatar change. I need
Dan,
some help.
we call him Thanksgiving because of those hams attached to his hips.
Yes,
Man.
there were some hams there, and the shorts were meant to reveal them. That was one of the hottie photos I saw. But when you guys talk about Marcus Freeman, what I noticed was in the middle of tectonic plates shifting in college football, in the middle of a paradigm shift where everything is changing very quickly, I'm here for the revolution that has Chip Kelly laughed at, while Marcus Freeman, who hasn't proved anything, gets believed in just because he's impossibly hot. What a shift that would be in what gets to govern that sport if he gets the recruits at Notre Dame because he walks into the room and mom falls in love, or dad.
I think he's proven that he's already a great recruiter and a top-tier defensive coordinator. What he hasn't proven yet is if he can be a head coach, Dan. That's what we will find out. He also proved this week he's a phenomenal actor. I don't know if you saw the video that our friends Mike Golick and Mike Golick Jr. were in the Notre Dame Shamrock Series jersey reveal, but they did a parody on The Hangover with Michael Mayer and Isaiah Foskey, two of the best players on the team, and Marcus Freeman.
Who themselves were not very good actors.
Marcus Freeman, though, looked like an A-lister. Like he
really did.
He fit the part.
Sunglasses were magnifique.
I feel like he's coming for Kingsbury's stuff.
He's eclipsed him for me, Clive. Wow. Like that is
what?
Yes. I mean, I think the life in the NFL has beaten Kingsbury down a little bit. I think he might have to get back on the recruiting trail. Might have to go maybe work a job in Southern California, coaching the Big Ten at either UCLA or USC. And he's got to recapture some magic. He's got to recapture some magic, Cliff Kingsbury, because Marcus Freeman is running circles around Kingsbury right now. Circles.
I am living in the age where we're going to see it. It is going to evolve from the coach used to look like Bud Grant, used to look like Mike Zimmer, to at the end it's going to be Marcus Freeman on the front of the ship as the newest of the presidential leaders, and it's going to be because he's smoldering. Jessica says he hasn't proven he can head coach, and my answer to you is I just saw him on First Take. Yes, the he has. He's going to handsome every opponent to death. He's going to stand on the sidelines, and a cornerback is going to blow his assignment because he is looking at Marcus Freeman, and he's just distracted. Like, am I attracted to a man? I did not know that this could be so. I wasn't thinking about that before right now.
Marcus Freeman is on one sideline. Frank Beamer is on the other. Who's winning there?
And why are you going? And why are you going to Frank Beamer?
What are you doing to Frank Beamer?
Yes, Tony. Thank you. He could have gone Charlie Weiss. There are any number of places that he could have gone there.
Beamer
what are you doing
to Frank Beamer? Frank Beamer? He's still with us.
Yeah, but still.
It's not because he's still with us. Yeah. It's because that's the wrong choice.
No, it's not.
It's the wrong choice.
What about Shane Beamer?
Better.
Shane Beamer's okay.
I mean, you had so many choices. Any of them.
Well, Charlie Weiss isn't one of them.
What's wrong with Frank Beamer?
He's not?
I don't know how
like,
we feel about the objectification of the Notre Dame head coach. I would just like the record to show that Whittingham and Dan and Stugotz were the ones that called him hot, not me.
He is hot.
Okay, but I saw how you were staring at the television.
Well, I was trying to read the subtitles to see what he had to say. I care about what he's saying and not what he looks like.
He has a mouth. I'm not seeing anything but those eyes. Like, I just fall into them. They're lagoons. I am questioning why I got married to a woman.
Wow.
I mean, he's that good looking. I'm here for the objectification of a coach and the new order arriving. I want him to win just because I want him on the largest stage so I could look into those lagoons.
I've noticed it's been difficult for people who hate Notre Dame to accept the fact that their head coach is very likable now. People are really grappling with that. I'm chewing breakfast, so I would like to keep talking, but I can't.
He's likable for now, though.
Yeah, let him start 0-1.
Right, exactly.
Right. Let him go 8-4 this year and see how likable he is at the end of it.
That whole thing that happened where Charlie Weiss got the extension and the guy named Tyrone was run out of town. The difference is there. Go ahead and let Notre Dame have a head coach who's black and does a lot of losing. See how that one goes over.
I have nothing to say. I agree that institutional racism exists.
Do you have anything to say that's not with a mouthful of Pop-Tart or whatever it is you're eating?
It's actually a chocolate-covered rice cake I got at Trader Joe's.
Oh,
There's a new Trader Joe's in Miami, man. I saw a fan of the show there, actually.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think
How'd you know?
Exactly, Roy. Because he came up to me with his shopping cart and pointed at me and started laughing. And I said, and then he points at his phone and like wakes up his phone and he was listening to the show. And then he kept walking away. It was very bizarre interaction.
So he said nothing.
He said nothing.
He just laughed at you.
He laughed, pointed at my face, pointed at his phone, and then walked away. And I was left reeling in the produce section.
Why are you saying, oh no? Because what just happened to you, Jessica, is exactly the way you're describing the way that my father, who was with my wife, my mother, I'm sorry, on the beach, Freudian slip, while my father was on the beach and he realized rather suddenly that a woman was topless sunbathing. That's how he reacted when my mother told him to please behave himself. He just started nervously pointing and laughing. He did not know what to do with the information of there was somebody not wearing a bikini
He couldn't
top.
process it. I don't think this guy could process that he was like standing next to a micro celebrity. And I mean micro in the smallest micro nano celebrity, perhaps is a better expression.
But why did Roy say, oh no, at a fan walking up to you in a grocery store?
Just off fans. God love them, but come on.
We've all been there. Yeah.
I would react the way your father did if I saw Marcus Freeman topless.
You would laugh and point?
I'd be nervous. I wouldn't know what to do.
Would you also be topless at the same time or no?
I'd rush to put my shirt back on because I wouldn't be able to compare what Marcus Freeman looks like without a shirt on.
Tom Brady looked pretty good with his shirt off. Saw him the other day. He's, I don't know, he might be doing things to the face that are illegal, but the body seems to be at 44 also not aging in a way that's wildly confusing.
How much you look into that?
How it is that Julio Jones
He's 44
and Kyle Rudolph can make it so that Tom Brady's 35 and a half touchdowns for the season at 44 looks like not only a sure bet, but I'm guessing is going up over the last couple of days as they get Julio Jones and Kyle Rudolph.
Have you seen the videos of them in practice together? Brady to Jones. Oh my! Julio Jones is going to have the greatest season he's ever had.
What are you doing, Stu?
Don't do that.
I'm falling for it again.
Don't fall for it.
It can't be the greatest season he's ever had.
He had a season of 136 catches, like 2,000 yards, like 3 years ago.
I mean, listen. First off, you don't want to disappoint Tom Brady. That's number one. Number two is Julio can still string together 16 games and have
17.
That's a fine, and still have. I'm telling you right now. He does not want to let down Brady. He is going to have the best season he's ever had.
But Tony,
he looks like Julio Jones in his prime again.
No.
He looks like the Julio Jones we saw at the Atlantis. I am telling you.
Stugotz, Julio Jones's greatest season.
Yeah.
Tony, just give me the numbers on what Julio Jones has been the last 2 seasons, what his greatest season is, because you're being ridiculous. I, too, expect Julio Jones to not look washed in that uniform. You can't make the argument, Stugotz, reasonably that Tom Brady is going to have Julio Jones be the best receiver in the history of the sport.
Randy Moss had great seasons with the Vikings, then had 2 lousy seasons with the Raiders, and then went to Tom Brady and had the greatest season he's ever had in his entire career. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen to Julio Jones. Go ahead, doubt me. I care about you, Dan. Don't say it. Don't think about it. You're going to be wrong.
The last 2 seasons, in 21 and 20, he had a combined 82 catches for 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns. The last 2 seasons.
2 seasons without Tom. Right,
without Tom.
His average season before that was probably those 2 seasons. His median was probably something like that.
The season before that, so we're talking about 21-20, he had the combined. 2019, he had 100 catches for 1,400 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
His best season, 136 catches for 1,900 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Right. We'll have a better season than that, I'm telling you.
Like, his foot doesn't work anymore.
Well, it does now.
Okay.
Is that breaking news or?
I mean, it is.
TB12.
It is breaking news.
Guerrero.
Guerrero, TB12, Fountain of Youth.
I'm coming around on Stu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he wins. He wins another argument.